So, kids, it's the last day of our story writing workshop. Now the question is, what did you learn in last 7 days and how you are going to implement your learning in your day-to-day life? So who is going to answer first? Okay. Yes.
I learned about what we need for story writing. We need iPod. I also learned the components and how to write a good story. In the real world, I am going to implement this by trying to write a story and seeing if all the things are there.
Okay, perfect. Anyone? Rajvi, yes.
By this session, I learned that story writing only does not consist of knowledge or grammar, English and stuff. It only relies on our imagination and our writing skills. So, and I am going to use this in the future by trying to write a meaningful story
Perfect.
that has all the points.
Okay, very good. Okay, Sarth.
So, like in this workshop, we learned about how, what is a story, how to write a story, and what we need for writing a story, and we learned about the components of a story, the types of stories, and we also learned that a story is that for writing a story we should make sure of sequence. It should be real or fiction. It should be understanding and meaningful.
Very good.
And implement it at my school and at exams.
Perfect. Very good.
From these few days, I've learned what all we need to write a story, the impacts of a story, how you plan a story, what all you use for a story, all the essence you need to write a story. And I'm going to implement this by writing an autobiography of how successful I was when I grew up.
Okay, very good.
I am.
Anything? Okay, Charvik.
By these 7 days, I have learned that what are the different types of stories, what are the elements of stories, what are the commodities that you need by writing a story, what is a plot, what are the different scenes in a story, etc. And I use this by just trying to write a story in full time.
Perfect. Very good. Okay.
By this 7 day session, I learned that how to write a story, how to be a story in a sequence and a meaningful way. And I'm going to implement this story writing session in my the book which I'm writing and in later exams also.
Perfect. Anyone else? Ahana?
In these few days, I've learned what is the basic of story. And I'll implement this by writing a story.
Okay. Okay, Arodi.
In these 7 days, I learned the structure of the story, the things we need to write a story, and the components of stories. There's 2 types of story, real or fiction, and I'm going to implement these in my exams, and I'm trying to write a own story with these components.
Very good.
In these
Okay.
7 days, I have learned how to make a story in a proper sequence. The story doesn't need all grammar or good writing, because nobody is going to check that. In future, you only need to improve that in a good way.
Perfect.
If it is not right, nobody is going to check it. I will improve it in my writing stories and getting it into my future.
Perfect. Very good. Anyone else? Okay, Prasiddhi.
I learned that story is not only about storytelling is not only about grammar, but also about our imagination and observation as well. I learned the components of story. I'm gonna use it in my real life by improving my writing skills and trying to write story.
Perfect. So, broadly, you mentioned all the points which we have covered, but as a summary, I mentioned some of you mentioned that we require iPod. So just keep this in mind: imagination, observation, and discipline. Pen and paper, obviously, you all have, but these three things you need to work upon. Imagination, just try to imagine what all things you can create, you can do. Observation required not only while writing a story, you can observe things anywhere, anytime. While sitting in your home, while doing anything in your house, while playing outside, while going on the road. These are the things which you can observe anytime, anywhere. And discipline, which is most important thing. Without discipline, the continuity will not come. Once you are continuous in writing, your mind will automatically start flashing the good ideas. Okay? And story writing is not only about writing the words, it's your world. You can create your own world by writing the stories. Okay? तो ये सारी जो टेक्निक है ना वो आप अपने एग्जाम में, अपने कैलकुलेटर, आंसर लिखने में, सिचुएशन बनाने में, प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करने में, all can use this technique. Like phrases,